You've probably seen the ads. I hate annuities and you should too. On the other side, you've got companies saying that annuities are the only way to have a safe retirement. So which is it? Are annuities evil or are they magical? Or is there a middle ground where they actually make sense for some people? In this video, I want to walk you through in simple English the real debate around annuities, why some firms build their entire marketing message around hating them, and why, for some people, the right kind of annuity can actually be really helpful as a safety net. And I will also be very clear about where I stand because I'm not team annuity, nor am I team never annuity. My job is to figure out what's appropriate for you and not to push one magic bullet strategy. I'm Zach Poitra, a fiduciary financial advisor based out of Colorado Springs, and I work with people 50 years and older who are trying to turn their retirement savings into a reliable income that lasts. First, I want to start with a quick definition so that we're on the same page. There are lots of flavors of annuities, and this can be confusing. In my practice, I only use fixed and fixed indexed annuities as one possible safety net inside of a bigger retirement plan. On top of these annuities, I also use dividend growth stock strategies, traditional stock and bond portfolios, and other standard advisor investment tools. So annuities are just one tool in the toolbox. They are not the whole toolbox. Let's start with the negative side because that's what gets the big headlines and all of the attention. The big anti-annuity firms usually make a few key points. First, fees can be high and layered. Some variable and indexed annuities have a base insurance fee, an investment sub-account fee that look like mutual fund fees, and then on top of all that, extra rider fees for guaranteed income or guaranteed death benefit. All of these layers and fees can add up to 2-3% or even more per year. And over 20 to 30 years, that can really eat a big chunk of your growth compared to a lower cost portfolio. These contracts are complex. The paperwork could be dozens of pages full of strange terminology like caps, participation rates, spreads, benefit bases, and so forth. And a lot of times people buy these annuities and they don't really understand what they own until after the fact. Further, there are surrender charges, and this causes liquidity issues. Many contracts lock up your money for 5 to 10 years, and if you need more than the free withdrawal amount, you can pay a hefty surrender penalty. So you lose flexibility if your life or the market changes significantly in these contracts. Then there's the issue of tax treatment, and it's not perfect. A non-IRA annuity, those gains are usually taxed as ordinary income, not at lower capital gains rates, and the gains come out first. And those heirs, the kids or grandkids who inherit these contracts, also don't usually get the step up in basis like they might with stocks in a taxable brokerage account. And finally, there are issues around sales incentives. Some annuities, they pay high commissions to the salesperson. Now, this doesn't automatically make them bad, but it does create a conflict of interest and explain why some people feel like annuities are really being pushed on them. So those are the big talking points that the we hate annuities firms use. And to be fair, a lot of that criticism is aimed at complex, high-fee, variable annuities. This doesn't always apply to every fixed or fixed index contract on the market. Another way to put it is that they are kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And as we go into the next section, I will explain what I'm talking about. Now, on the other side, the pro-annuity side, there's significant amount of academic research and companies that make the pro-annuity case. especially for fixed and fixed index annuities. Their arguments in plain English look like this. First, they provide principal protection. Fixed and fixed index annuities, they have a floor. You can't lose money from market drops as long as you follow the contract rules. For some retirees, just knowing I can't lose this portion is a huge deal. Then there's a sequence of returns protection. If in the first decade of your retirement, if that goes through a really rough patch in the market, having a slice of your money in a fixed annuity that doesn't go down, that can help protect your long-term income plan. And then there's the argument that fixed annuities can provide stability that bonds can't. Bonds, they can lose value when interest rates rise. Fixed annuities, they don't show daily price swings. They just credit interest according to the contract. And finally, there's the human behavior and peace of mind aspect. Having a guaranteed or very stable income stream can make it much easier to actually enjoy retirement instead of staring at CNBC and worrying every day. And for many people, that license to spend, that matters. But of course, there are trade-offs. With annuities, you give up some upside potential, you accept less liquidity, and you're trusting an insurance company. And on top of all that, you have to be okay with the contract rules. So where do I land in all of this? I am solidly neutral. I don't believe annuities are evil, and I don't believe that they're magic. I see fixed index annuities as an optional safety net inside of a larger retirement plan. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. My job is not to force everything into an annuity. And it's also not to blindly follow an anti-annuity marketing slogan. My job is to learn who you are, understand your fears and your goals, look at your actual financial numbers, and then fit the tools to you and your specific situation. For some people, that means we never use an annuity. For others, it might mean we carve out a portion of their portfolio for a fixed index annuity to create a floor of safety, and then we can invest the rest more for growth using dividend strategies or traditional stock and bond portfolios. So with all of that said, how do you decide if an annuity might be right in your situation? Here's a simple way to think about it. An annuity might be worth exploring if you lose sleep over market losses. If you really like the idea of a paycheck that you can't outlive and knowing that your principal is protected from losses. And finally, you're okay with giving up some liquidity and potential upside in exchange for all of that protection. An annuity might not make sense if you have plenty of assets relative to your spending and planned retirement income, if you're comfortable with market ups and downs, and finally, if flexibility and low fees are your top priorities. There's no one magic product that's perfect for everyone. Anyone who says, always buy this or never buy that, they're doing marketing, they're not planning. Now, if you're confused about all the noise around annuities and you just want a straight answer for your specific situation, that's exactly what I help people figure out. If you'd like, we can run your numbers both with and without annuities, see in black and white which approach better supports your income, your taxes, and your peace of mind. If that's interesting, you can find a link in the description to schedule a time to talk. There should be a link below. And if you're not ready to talk, you might also be interested in my free retirement masterclass, which also has a link below this video. Either way, don't let headlines make the decision for you. Get the facts, understand the trade-offs, then choose what fits you and your specific situation. Thank you for watching this, and if you like the content, please like and subscribe so that you can receive more. Now, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not financial advice, it's not tax advice, nor is it legal advice. Talk to a licensed professional, such as myself, before making any financial decisions. Any guarantees mentioned in this video are based on the claims paying ability of the insurance carrier.